Want to learn more about sex and intimacy? Well, you can read all about it. Sex in Space is celebrating World Book Day with a roundup of top 10 sex books for women. And this is a mix of books that we've read and books that we're going to read, so let's dive in. First up is Becoming Cliterate, and we were lucky enough to actually have Dr. Laurie join us on the podcast for a great episode about how to have a better sex life. And why should you read her book? Well, the studies show that women who read the book orgasm more, have more arousal, less pain, better body image, and more sexual satisfaction. So those results say it all. Next is Everything You Need to Know About the Menopause But Were Too Afraid to Ask. This book is great for both older and younger readers. I read it as a 25-year-old, and it really helped to inform me about the menopause, and because of that, it doesn't seem as scary or threatening. Next is The Geode Theory, which is by another one of our lovely podcasts. So Teri Hofford offers a fabulous and really practical way of improving our relationship with our bodies. So she helps readers to examine why their sense of body image is the way it is, and offers really sound advice for how we can start to reframe any negative thoughts that we might have about our bodies in a more positive way. Next is Women on Porn, and for this, Dr. Fiona Vera-Gray interviewed 100 women about their experiences with pornography. So things like how they first came across it, how they use it, what they like about it, and what they don't, and how it's affected their sex lives. This book is great because it gives you a sense of how women really think and feel about porn, and it can open spaces for having conversations with women in your own life about this topic. Next is Lobster, which is a collection of poems by Hollie McNish, and they cover a whole bunch of topics like love, pleasure, bodies, relationships, friendships, parenting, and she does it in a way that's really funny and really honest. I actually hadn't read any poetry before I came across Hollie's work, and I couldn't recommend it more. Next is This is a Vulva, which is a very sort of short and accessible book. It's about 40 pages long, and it covers different parts of the vulva, the anatomy, how to look after it, and tips for things like a smear test. One thing that's really helpful about this book is that Jo has used real photographs of vulvas, so you really get a sense of how different they can all look. Next, we have But Seriously, which is by one of the leading anal health experts in the US. For those that are interested, this book is a really great guide to anal health and pleasure. Dr. Evan has done a whole bunch of myth busting. He shares advice for healthy daily anal health and goes over things like anatomy and sex positions for anal sex. Next is From Madness to Mindfulness, Reinventing Sex for Women. So in this book, Dr. Jenn helps women break free of the social messages that often shape how we think and feel about things like sex, relationships, desire, and our bodies. We also have Come As You Are by Dr. Emily Nagoski, which uses research to explain why, firstly, you're normal, and secondly, how to have a better sex life. She explores anatomy as well as what she calls sex and context, so how parts of our everyday lives impact things like arousal, desire, and orgasm. Finally, we have The Ultimate Guide to Sex and Disability. Now, this book we haven't actually had the chance to read yet, but it comes highly recommended, so we wanted to include it in our list. It's written for everyone, regardless of age, gender, or sexual orientation. It covers a whole range of disabilities and provides support and information so that people can create a sex life that works for them. So let us know in the comments if you have any questions or other recommendations of books that you think women should be reading. And if you're keen to keep expanding your sex ed, make sure to subscribe to Sex in Space for more content like this.